Welcome to our presentation where we're talking about unlocking study abroad opportunities. My name is Ntomfuthi. I'm together with my sister Ayanda. We started a company called Uplifted Abroad. Uplifted Abroad is a personal development brand that is dedicated at elevating individuals to their highest potential. And we do this by providing tailored guidance as well as support, comprehensive support in the form of one-on-one sessions, depending on what the need is. And we are doing this in order to nurture a holistic development where we're looking at your academic, professional, as well as personal development. So what we have noticed is that in our communities, as people of color, there are a limited number of mentors that are available. And this is because once individuals progress, they move out of the community, meaning that now we have missed opportunities of access to information. Another thing is that sometimes we are disheartened because we believe that there's only one route to success. But here as Uplifted Abroad, we're trying to show you through our lived experiences that the route to destiny comes in various dimensions. And we're trying to motivate those who may be feeling that they are stuck or they have no way out of their situation. So to kickstart off, let me talk about myself. So I am an educator at heart, and I am very passionate about using education as a tool for personal development, as well as inspiring personal development in others. So what this means is that I believe firmly in long life learning, and I reinforce my learning by teaching others. So I have worked in higher education for about 11 years, and my journey has taken me from being an intern who was trying to figure herself out to a lab technician who demonstrated practicals focused on the application of the knowledge that students gained in other subjects, and finally to developing as a researcher who is also looking for ways to contribute at resolving Sustainable Development Goals 4 and 6, which are quality education as well as access to clean water and sanitation. However, for me to get to where I am, it was not easy, and it was not one-dimensional, if I may say so. So just to give you some background, growing up, I've always been good with mathematics. I'm very passionate when it comes to maths. And once I got to high school, science became another subject that I was very good at. So it made sense that I would follow a qualification that was in the science field. So I did 1 year at the University of the Northwest doing a BSc majoring in mathematics and chemistry. After completing that year, my mom was just like, listen, what are you going to do with this BSc qualification? Why don't we change things up and you follow chemical engineering? So I, being the effective executor, I applied for University of Cape Town, did chemical engineering, and I was accepted. And unfortunately, things did not go as planned. After my second year, I got academically excluded from the institution, where I even had one of my lecturers tell me to my face that I was not cut out to be an engineer. So instead of taking that and saying, okay, this is the end of my journey, what I did is I changed institutions, but still pursued a chemical engineering qualification. So I went to the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, where I completed my national diploma, my BTech, as well as my Master of Engineering. I completed that in 2021, December. And the idea was that the following year, I was going to transition from being a technical staff member to becoming a full-time academic staff member. And what that meant was I was applying for lecturing positions throughout universities in South Africa. And after 4 months of not getting any response or acknowledgement of my application, my sister was like, hey, there's an opportunity for you to go do your PhD abroad and actually get paid for it. So as the effective executor, I did my research and I applied for 3 opportunities, 2 of them in the UK and 1 in Ireland. And in October 2022, I relocated to Ireland. So I'm currently doing my second year PhD in civil engineering. So if there is something that I want you to learn from my experience, is that never let someone tell you what you cannot be. And the power lies in your own hands. Because here I sit today with a master's in chemical engineering and currently doing a PhD in civil engineering. So I definitely am cut out to be an engineer. I'd like to take this time to then hand over to Ayanda.
Hi guys, I'm Ayanda and Dombi's sister. As Dombi has said, we are partners in this initiative, Uplifted Abroad. I am the avid dreamer of the family. So if I look at myself and my story, it was also not quite a straightforward story, you know. When I was in high school, I was good at maths and science, and even though I wanted to study something within the creative arts, fashion design, but back then, I mean, most of you, I'm not sure how old you are, but if you're over 30, you would know that the buzzword around the time when we were in high school was engineering, you know? So if you were good at maths and science, it went without saying that you had to study within something within engineering. And our parents would actually tell you that you could do anything you want as long as it was in engineering. So I had to go and study engineering, mechanical engineering. And in fact, because I was not passionate about it, and when we went for practicals, we were doing lathe and welding, I couldn't see myself doing this qualification or doing this for the rest of my life. I really wanted to be within the arts. And you know what? I actually lost interest. I didn't exert myself the way I was supposed to. And I ended up failing and getting kicked out of my first qualification, studying mechanical engineering at UCT. So as I went on, I had to pluck up the courage to tell my mom that, you know, I really want to study something within the arts. I don't want to be an engineer. And I took the extreme opposite end and I went and I studied fashion design. Of course, she wasn't happy with the decision, but she had to come around at some stage. Once I was done with that fashion design qualification, I then did another qualification in surface design. And then the irony of it all is that the very first job that I got within the fashion industry was a role that was only assigned to people who had a qualification in business science or commerce. And the reason why I got that role, even though I didn't have the qualification, was because they had seen that little 2-year engineering dropout and could sense that I was quite an analytical person from that. And also, I sold myself very well in the interviewing process and I landed the role. It was only after I started growing and progressing in my career that I then started studying towards the business qualification using company funds in order to align my qualification with the role. I then have gone on to have quite a great career within the fashion industry as a merchandise planner. Over the past 10 years, I've worked for some of the major retailers within South Africa, and quite recently, I even worked for one of the top 2 sports brands in the world in a managerial level. And then in the last 6 months, I've actually taken a step back to become more of a social entrepreneur, work on my passion project, which is this project, Uplifted Abroad to Success, so I can inspire others on their personal development journeys. And after all the studying that I had done, you would be quite surprised that I only started my career at the age of 27. And if you meet me and see how far I've gone, you wouldn't say I started my career at the age of 27. So I think what I would like you guys to take from my story is that, first of all, it's never too late to start. It is also never too late to pivot or change your career if that is what you want to do. you can actually follow your passion. And then also leverage the opportunities that you have at your disposal to get ahead. I mean, even though I didn't study the business qualifications, I was able to advocate for myself and sell myself very well, and then also use company funds to then study towards the business qualification. So it's quite important in life to be someone who's advocating for yourself and trying to grab every opportunity that you have.
Thank you very much, Ayanda. Now we're going to get to why study abroad. So guys, if you are aware, South Africa has a population of about 61 million individuals, and we only have 26 tertiary institutions. So what this means is that there is not enough space to accommodate everyone in our tertiary institutions. I'll give you a typical example. In Ireland, they have a population of just over 5 million. However, they have 35 tertiary institutions. In the state of California in America, they've got a population of about 40 million and over 400 tertiary institutions. So already you can see why these international universities will be keen on recruiting us to come and study at their tertiary institutions, because they have the space and the facilities. Another reason we should consider studying abroad is because when we look at the unemployment rate in South Africa, the youth constitutes about 50% of that unemployment rate. And this also includes individuals who have graduated. I mean, how many of us have seen either on LinkedIn or on social media, someone is holding a board saying, I am an engineer, please can you help me find a job? I was actually one of those. After graduating my BTech in 2008, I sat for a year and a half looking for employment. Another thing that makes us think about study abroad opportunities is the fact that NSFAS is tightening up who gets funded. We've seen what has happened within the past few months, where now people are worried that, will I be able to then find funding to go into tertiary institution? Do I have to look for a loan? So now it's the lack of space and it's the lack of funding. But you'll be interested to find out that international universities or international countries are offering scholarships from undergraduate, master's, PhD, and postdoc research fellowships for people to come and take up study opportunities in their countries. And the whole idea is for us to also become global citizens. As the Setswana saying says, us relocating and interacting or engaging in other countries opens up our eyes to a different way of life, to a different way of seeing things. And that is what makes one a global citizen. So where does all this funding come from? In 2015, the United Nations proposed about 17 sustainable development goals. And these development goals were supposed to eradicate issues such as poverty, hunger, access to clean water, as the list goes on. And what this meant is that countries had to then implement these sustainable development goals in their national strategies. That's where you also find universities were having Vision 2020, Vision 2030. It is in a way trying to respond to these sustainable development goals. So what this meant is that cooperation from various stakeholders or players with distinct sets of skills had to come together to design and adopt robust, innovative solutions. So this meant that industry also had a role to play, because it is with industry where we now had the creation of this climate change, this global warming. We saw when it came to the industrialization, the depletion of this planet. So now industry has to come up with ways to improve, optimize, or create efficient ways of doing what they do. But at the same time, institutions of higher learning also have a role to play, because they are required to guarantee that intellect and finance backing is for projects or for solution, or for projects that have a promising solution. And how this is done is you'll find either principal investigators, supervisors, or institutions will bid for funding in the form of writing a proposal. For example, in my case, My research team constitutes of 9 Irish universities, as well as 9 co-funding industries. The principal investigators from all these universities, they came up together, they said, listen, we're going to try and tackle 5 of the sustainable development goals. And from these 5 sustainable goals, we are going to design projects, whether it be research internships, it be master's projects, PhD, or postdoctoral research opportunities. And we are then going to say, with these projects, this is how we plan on resolving things. And we would like to get some funding. By doing so, we were awarded about 16 million euros, which actually is where my scholarship and my research funds come from. So from this, we can see that funding is available. At this moment, I'd like to hand over to Paulina, who's going to show us SDGs in actions by taking us through her project.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Paulina. So guys, I think most of the students that are here are from BLA student chapter. So my name is Paulina Mbilo. I'm the Strategic and Alliance of Black Class Association student chapter. So to show that funding is available, I am busy with a project that I'm doing with the United People Global, of which my project is to address the SDG 16, which is Sustainable Development Goal number 16. So with this organization, they open applications for everyone, like for everyone in the world. So you apply regardless of your country, whether you have matric or you don't have, as long you are going to do something for the community. So they will accept you. So luckily I was accepted for 2024 candidates. I think when I remember, they said we were 13,000 applicants, but they only needed 500. Luckily, I was part of that 500 that was selected. So the project that I'm running is SDG 16, that is going to take place in my community where I'm staying, which is in Johannesburg, Lenasia South. So one thing I have noticed about doing something abroad, first of all, it's internationally recognized, and it opened doors for you to be able to do something again in abroad. And the SDG that I'm addressing, it's not just the SDG 16 for peace and justice only. It also linked with no poverty, also linked with no hunger. It also linked with good jobs and economic growth. So if I'm addressing peace or justice, for the community to have peace, people must have employment. People must have food, meaning if you don't have food, you will go and commit a crime. So that's how these SDGs link.
Before we move on to the next slide, I actually wanted to ask a question to the floor while we're still talking about SDGs. Dombi, if you could go back to your SDG slide. Now that we've spoken a little bit about our project, Uplifted Abroad, and also Polly, who is one of our candidates in the Uplifted Abroad project, what would you guys say that this initiative that we're doing with you guys today and in general, Uplifted Abroad, what are some of the SDGs that you think we are trying to address?
We've got a comment here that says growing economy.
Okay, yes, good. Any other comment?
I think you're trying to make eradication of poverty and unemployment.
Yes, good. Okay, that's good. I think we'll come back to it after we've done the other few slides. Also, just to show you guys sustainable development goals in action and how they are applied in our communities. Dombi, you can move on. Thank you for your answers. Any questions so far?
I want Mama Sister Paulina to round up. I have a question for her regarding these sustainable development goals, which is the SDGs. How also we can try as much as possible to participate so that we can be able to help our community in terms of the social development as well. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I think let's leave that question until we've gone further down, because it will be answered as we go along. And also I think we'll have a more robust discussion after we've gone through a few slides. Polly will come back to that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so guys, as I've explained, myself and Dombi started this initiative, Uplifted Abroad to Success. It's actually an initiative that we started last year, and it's been running quite well within our community. It's the nice thing about it is that it's an online platform that we've created for engagement. So it hasn't just been influential within South Africa. We've been targeting our fellow Africans in general. So it's a personal development brand. We started out just providing study abroad assistance or information about how to find and leverage opportunities to study abroad. But as we were going along, we noticed that a lot of people, even though they do get this information of, okay, this is where you need to go, or these are the websites that you need to go to, they needed a bit more assistance in terms of personal development coaching, and also believing that they are worthy for these opportunities. I mean, I think us as Africans, one thing that we struggle with is selling ourselves and articulating our value to the next person. So you would find that a lot of people, whether they've done their undergrad and they're looking for a master's, or have done their master's and are looking for a PhD, one of the things that they would struggle with would be, for example, a personal statement. And a personal statement is something where you really just have to know and understand yourself, sell yourself very well in order to be attractive for scholarships, you know? So we continue to help people in that way. And we started out by doing regular Zoom sessions where we'd take our attendees through the process, where we would show them how to find the scholarships, how to find institutions as well, and also once you've found your opportunity, how to prepare for a life abroad. We also have a WhatsApp group that is running alongside this, where once you've joined the info session, you then get access to our WhatsApp group. After a few months of doing this online Zoom sessions for the info sessions, we actually then created it into a digital course, because what we found is that there was a lot of challenges in terms of people getting 100% attendance because of load shedding, and sometimes people's work schedules would not allow them to be present on that day. So we've created a digital info session that takes you through the steps, which is available for people who want to pursue these opportunities. And also we've built up this community in our WhatsApp group. We've now got about 240 people in this WhatsApp group who are actively looking for the opportunity to study abroad. So if you are interested in this, as someone has already asked the question, it's something that you can access through this QR code. What we will do is we will type in the comments, we'll type the website link for access to the digital info session. It does come at a small fee of 200 Rand, but for that 200 Rand, I mean, it's a once-off fee, but then you get access to this digital info session as well as being part of our community. I think for me, the biggest part of this project has been formulating this WhatsApp community. I mean, Polly will speak on her experience as well, where it's really just a nice community to be a part of, with like-minded people who are going through the process of finding scholarships as well alongside you. And there's a lot of advice that you can get, bouncing ideas off each other. They also share their wins when they get scholarships acceptances. Also, if you get rejections, you are able to be encouraged to keep on going, because what we've noticed is that this is not an easy journey. You know, looking for a scholarship, it's a very grueling journey where you have to really, really search for some time in order to find an opportunity that is specific for you. I mean, there are different types of scholarships. There's partial scholarships, there's fully funded scholarships, but we always encourage people to go for fully funded scholarships so that they can know that, you know, they are at ease. I mean, even Dombi will touch on it. We'll touch on her experience as well as Polly. But with Ndombi, she found a fully funded scholarship that was able to assist her in actually quitting a full-time job here in South Africa and moving abroad to Ireland. You know, so there's various funding methods. So in order for you to find an opportunity that is appropriate for you, it requires a grueling search, which is why we came up with this digital info session. Okay, next slide, Dombi. Dombi has attached the.
I just
the
wanted to add
website, yeah.
to what you had just said, because I know a lot of questions will be like, can I get a scholarship for health fitness? Can I get a scholarship for food science? The scholarships are for all fields, guys. And one thing you must know, different countries have different immigration laws. Therefore, different universities have different requirements, different scholarships have different requirements and different benefits. And yes, you do get scholarships that have an age restriction. You get some scholarships that don't have an age restriction. So everybody is actually catered for under the umbrella. And the idea is for you to put yourself out there. And as Ayanda says, it's a lot of work. Hence, we put together this WhatsApp group so that we can support each other, because going at it alone, I mean, a lot of these application processes want you to submit the application on the portal. They may be asking you about a GA calculation, and you're just like, what is that? You're able to ask in the group, because I've only applied for my one scholarship, and it was for a PhD. It's obviously going to be different for undergrad and for masters, but there are people who are in the WhatsApp group who are actively going through that process. So they are best suited to answer your question. And they too sometimes, not only us posting resources, but they too would post resources to say, okay, here's another scholarship that is open, or here's an internship. It's even gotten to a point where people are now even posting job offers within their own institutions, because the group constitutes of professionals from different walks of life. It also constitutes of people who are also based in different countries. So you're able to look at things differently. A typical example, there was a candidate who was looking for a PhD, but she had completed her master's more than 12 years ago. And she was like, oh my God, guys, I'm not able to find a scholarship. And someone from Nigeria was like, no, girl, you have to look at it in this way. Give reasons why there is such a gap. Did you start a company? Were you working? Did you have children to take care of? So, you know, when we engage as a group, we're able to bounce ideas off each other, as Ayanda had said.
Alongside this digital info session, you can find us, Ndombi and I, on our socials. We are very much active on TikTok, where we sometimes share our story. I think what is nice about our story is that it's not an individual story of Ndombi moving abroad. It is a family story, because our mother actually did her PhD at the age of 60. So it's an inspirational family story of a single parent who raised two daughters. And what she instilled in us was that education is the only way that you can achieve something in life and come out of your whatever circumstance that you have. You can go through our TikTok and you will see my personal story, our mom's personal story, as well as Ndombi's personal story as well. We're also available on Instagram, although we post more on TikTok than Instagram. And then also we have our YouTube channel, where we also post sometimes. And also just keep track of our email address there if there's any concerns that come up along the way. This is generally how you contact us.
So guys, I will share my journey with Uplifted Abroad. I think I joined them last year, October. Then one thing that I wanted to do something for the community and something that will not require me to relocate as for now. So that's where I got this course, of which the course that I'm doing, it's costing thousands of dollars, but because there is a fully funded option, that's how I qualified to do the course, because it's fully funded. So one thing I have noticed about the Uplifted Abroad group, you are not alone. Like, we have people who have relocated to Ireland, to UK. So whenever you're applying and you have a challenge, you just ask the question in the group, and they are always available to assist, even to go an extra mile to assist. And one thing about Uplifted Abroad, we normally celebrate. A win for someone, it's a win for all of us in the group. We will celebrate with you. They will share everything with us, even if they are relocating on their day where they're packing their bags, they're at the airport. They will share some info with us and a few pictures for us to get motivated. So on my side, my husband was not even motivated about relocating or to apply for abroad. I normally used to apply for him, but I will tell him, you have an interview. There is an interview. He will be like, no, I'm not interested. But by me joining Uplifted Abroad, his mind, it's changed. He's changed his mind for now. And you'll be like, I'm interested to move abroad. Basically, there are opportunities. It's low in the crime rates are very low. The opportunities are very high, not only even for him, but also for me and for our kids. So it means the future is going to be bright for our kids. So one thing I can say, Uplifted Abroad, they're uplifting abroad. That's why their name is Uplifted Abroad. You will learn a lot of things, how to apply, how to go with this scholarship. And also, they normally share the scholarships that are available for that time. Thank you.
Okay, so I think now would be a nice time to go back to backtrack on the question as well, where they asked, just backtrack to the SDGs, where there was a question that was posed to Polly about the SDGs and how they can be implemented in the community. Dombi, can you go to the slide about the SDGs? I'll just give my example. Okay. I'm not sure. I can't remember who was asking the question again. I'm not sure the name of the person who asked the question.
It's me that is asking the question. Is Owolabi.
Oh, Olabi. Okay, cool. So, Owolabi, if you think about it, I think every one of us has something that they know, or a skill that they have, or a passion that they have, that they can help towards helping the next person, right? Whether it is you are very good. I mean, I'm sure you're one of the student lawyers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, there can potentially be a course that you are good at, for example, that you can tutor to the next person. That already is addressing a sustainable development goal. Do you understand? So we don't have to think big. But what I've found is that if you sit down as a person and you really do an evaluation of the passions that you have, the skills that you have, and sometimes also a lived experience that you've been through, you can be able to come up with a lot of projects that you can engage in the community in order to address actually not even just one of these sustainable development goals, but multiple sustainable development goals. So when I asked you guys the question of like Uplifted Abroad, what sustainable development goal do you think we're trying to address? we actually set, prior to even knowing about the Sustainable Development Goals, my sister and I had sat together and said, you know what, let's come up with a project where we can help people. And even if there is a little bit of monetization, we help people with their personal development journeys. This is something that we were always doing normally, like at school or even at work. Like I was always someone who would ask people like, what are you studying? Do you know the company has funds? What's your next step? You know, always being part of the journey. And we found that it was a common interest between the three of us, which is my sister, my mother, and I, because education is a very big one for us. So we sat together and we brainstormed and we came up with ways in which we said, okay, what skills do you have in Ntombi? Ntombi, you are very good at lecturing because you've been lecturing for the past number of years. Ayanda, you're very good at business because you've been working within the commerce sector in the retail environment. What is something that we can take? How can we take our skills, link them with a passion of ours, which was education and inspiring personal development in others? And we actually came up with this project, you know. But I'm always that advocate to say we can help the community, but we can't always help for free. There must be a form of social entrepreneurship in order to make sure that whatever projects we come up with, we don't just start a project and then after a while we run out of steam because we've run out of funds to actually grow it and scale it in a way that we would like to, you know. So we said, okay, let's look at our skills. We devised this info session and we were like, even if it's for a small fee of 200 Rand, the impact that we would bring in the community or the value which we would bring would be more than that amount of money that people are paying. So since starting this project last year, our goal was just to help one person to move abroad. And in fact, two ladies moved to Ireland last year to go and do their masters in Dublin. And we actually were so excited because we had exceeded our goal. And do you know what? The surprising thing about this whole thing is that when you start something, you don't really see the end goal. But these ladies, the two ladies, are actually completing their programs now in May and are graduating. So you are able to impact someone's life to a point where they had never even, the one lady wasn't even thinking about studying abroad. But when she encountered us and joined our info session, she actually started applying from the day she was in the info session. And she got an opportunity to move and she's already leaving. I mean, she already left and she's also considering taking her kids over this year, you know. So that's a way, in a way, if you think about it, because it's two females that we've moved abroad, not only have we addressed the issue of no poverty, no hunger, quality education, we've also addressed good jobs and economic growth, because since they've moved abroad, they've been able to get jobs there as well, because when you're a student, you're allowed to work for 20 hours a week as well. They've been able to, we've been able to address gender inequality, because we know that if you help a girl child, you're actually helping more than just the individual, you're helping the community, you know. So I think what I want to highlight is that there's so many things that you can do, but you just need time to sit and think about what your passions are, what your skills are, and where your lived experience, maybe there's something that you've been through that that is a story that you can use to inspire the next person. Like, for example, Ntombi spoke about her story of being academically excluded from UCT. I was also academically excluded from UCT. And this is a story that we tell in order to inspire the next person to say, it's not the end, you know. So if you take those elements and you link them up, you can definitely come up with a way in which to help your community in some project that is addressing 2 or 3 or more of these sustainable development goals. And I think the cherry on top is if you are able to monetize it in a way, it will help you scale and reach more people. I don't know if I've answered you. Olwabi?
Yes, correct.
Yes. I don't know if there was anything you wanted to add, Polly. I mean, especially relating to your project, because it's probably in the same field that Olwabi is studying.
So Oshikoya, you will get an invitation. I will also invite you guys if I have done with my course and the event is taking place. I will also invite you guys. You will be part of that event just to observe what is happening. How did I structure the program? How am I going to present it in the community? Is there any collaboration? How was the awareness? Yeah, all those sort of things. You will notice it whenever it's event time. Thank you, Dombi. Never let your past determine your future. Past is the past. It must remain as the past. You are moving forward. So focus on the future. Thank you.
So there's also another question here, Ntombi, that someone's saying, I don't know if it's off topic, but I wanted to ask if you guys help with finding jobs abroad. So we don't help specifically with jobs abroad, but I think, Ntombi, you can actually just explain how it works abroad in terms of when you are a student abroad, what are you allowed in most of the countries?
Okay, so as a student abroad, you're allowed to work a certain number of hours when the university is opened. And if the university is closed, you can work a full-time job. And these type of jobs are not restricted. It can be a professional job or it can be a laborer job. It is up to you depending on your availability, flexibility, and your time. Because at the end of the day, you must remember the whole goal is for you to get your qualification. Our guest speaker will also address this, but then the other nice thing is once you've completed your qualification, you are eligible to apply for a visa to stay within the country, to look for employment depending on your level of study. I know in Ireland, if it's undergrad, they give an additional 12 months to find employment. If it is master's, it is 2 years, and I think PhD, they give you 3 years. But the other nice thing is that within these universities, they like hosting career fairs where you will find that employers or firms will come and present career opportunities. You're even given opportunity to submit your CV. We've also got a career center where they help you with a readiness for interviews, how to write up a CV. There's actually quite a lot, you know. And in my experience as being an international student, I've come across students who were doing their masters who had actually secured employment before completing their studies. So there's quite a lot of opportunities. And the other thing is when you go and look onto the university websites, you firstly are looking for, okay, what is the employability of the graduates? The one thing that attracted me to the University of Galway is that in 2022, 98% of their graduates got employment. And I was like, wow, that is a huge difference compared to where I'm coming from, you know? So those are the type of things that you need to be playing in the back of your mind when you're going through these opportunities. If we don't have any other questions, I would like to then open the floor to Bashir, our guest speaker, and he will present.
So it's nice meeting you guys. My name is Bashir Alao, and I'm from Nigeria, and I'm currently studying PhD in management at University of Galway. Um, I just briefly want to share my experience and to which I believe will serve as a motivation to actually pursue studying abroad. So my story is like I'm already an established professional in Nigeria, having more than 12 years working experience in the financial service sector. And, I was the type that is curious about, the world with the drive for new knowledge. And, in the pursuit of this, I realized the fact that I can actually school abroad without paying a dime. And when I begin to explore these options, and it's like an ocean. When you just dive into the ocean, you discover that you have limitless opportunities. So particularly for those of us in the sub-Saharan Africa, when you looked at it at home, competition for good job, competition for university admissions is becoming tight or tighter. Let me just use that word, because of the fact that we have population explosion. If I can use the current the university matriculation exam that's just been released in Nigeria, you have over 1.8 million people, students that wrote this exam. And when you look at the universities and the courses and every other thing, I don't think in Nigeria alone, I don't think that we have the capacity to take up to 500,000 students. So, so you can see 1.8 million, and this available space is 500,000. Okay, so that is one problem. Second problem is, even after graduation, where's the job? So the job is also limited because the available job is more than the population is more than the qualified people are more than the available job. Then when you go to the global north, which is the America, the Europe, and the rest of the global north, you discover that the population, they have aged populations, and they needed a lot of skilled workers, and that is when we from the global side, we have the population. So they in the north, in the global north, they have lower population, but they have job opportunities. So, and how do we fix it into this? So the best option is through education routes. And from my experience, when I started diving into the scholarship arena, into the pool, I discovered that there are lots of opportunity for scholarship, for sponsorship, very unlimited opportunity for sponsorships that we don't even know. So, when this kind of forum or this kind of fora will provide you an insight to know for you to know that you can actually school abroad, either undergraduate, master's, or PhD, free of charge. So it was in the course of my searching for full funding scholarship that I begin to see there is a Swedish government scholarship. That are institutions in Sweden that have scholarship full funded. In fact, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany. If you are a PhD student there, you are even a worker. You are a staff of the university. You are paid a minimum of 3,500 euro, in those countries. And you have pension, you have all this. So I begin to look at this, wow, these are opportunity. Even in there's a scholarship that I also apply for, they call it Stipendious Hungarian. There are loads and loads of these scholarships out there. And when you looked at it, the Asia, they understood this game, and that is the reason why they are on top of it. And the organizer of this event, I think you have actually done a very good job by promoting, because it is lack of information that is hindering us in sub-Saharan Africa about these scholarship opportunities. And you know, a lot of us from sub-Saharan Africa, we like to travel abroad. And in most cases, we are doing it the wrong way. You know, people go to Europe or America using visiting visa, and you want to convert it to, you want to from there work. No, the best and still the cheapest for you to go abroad is to go through the education route. And I will tell you the two advantages. The first advantage is that you are educated in that country and it is regarded as a plus. You know, they will tell you, because if you are coming from Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, you know, to a certain extent, Kenya, Tanzania, they look at, there's a way they look at our education, which is not, they are not looking at it pari passu in equal rank with theirs. Though we might be better than they do, however, because they have passion for who has their certification. So education gives you that advantage. So it is easier for you to integrate seamlessly into the job market. Two, the education route actually gives you job opportunity. You know, if I tell you from my experience, I've done okay, this is my third year of my PhD, and within the third year, there is no year that I've not worked. There is no year of the third of this my PhD this thing that I've not worked and earned considerable amounts. You know, and what that does is that it's giving me the European experience in terms of job. So as a student, I'm a PhD student, but I'm also working, you know, in different organizations, and it's added to my CV. So what it means is that at the end of my PhD, I have a visa status that allow me to stay in the country and look for a job for 2 years. And I don't even need a visa sponsor within that 2 years. So if you compare myself with somebody who comes into Europe, coming through a visiting visa, you need to go and either declare as an asylum, you are there 7 years, some people 10 years, no bearings, you can't even move, you can't even travel, you know. And when you talk about travel, one of the things that the education in the global north also does is that it gives you an ample opportunity to travel wide. As I'm talking to you now, I've been to 7 different European countries free of charge, sponsored by my institution. So, you know, something that even at I work in the financial service industry in Nigeria, I do not have such resources to take myself to 7 countries. But with the education in Ireland, it makes it easier for me, you know, because the funding, apart from the PhD, paying your school fees, your monthly stipends, you also have funding for your research. Currently, I'm in Nigeria and collecting data. I'm being sponsored to come to Nigeria to collect data. Hotel, airplane, any other places I go to, I have a fund that is made available. So they actually support you 100%. They support your journey, and you know, which to me I consider as an opportunity, because if I value my scholarship, the school fees alone is about the school fee annually is about 6,000 euros or 6,500 euros multiplied by 4 years. The stipend is about 19,000 euros multiplied by 4 years. Then I'm also entitled to about 2,000 euros annually for travels and all those things. So by the time you look at it, that's over 100,000 euros in 4 years. So that is what my country cannot do for me. Just to do PhD, they are spending over 100,000 euros. So for those that are in Nigeria, or for those that are in Ghana, or even in South Africa, convert 100,000 euros to your local currency, and you discover that It's a lot of money that a country is spending on you. And let me also bust your bubble. It's not that I have to stay in that country to work. As I am here now, after my PhD, I can go to Germany and go and work. I can go to United Kingdom to work. They are not saying, oh, after your PhD, you must stay here, you must be there. No. So these are the opportunities that, studying abroad, exposes you to. And like what Ntobi said, I'm currently part of the career ambassador in the university. And I know that I have lot of friends that are master students that there are before, there are job fairs. Every time there are job fairs, this is, the education there is practical. These are people that they will teach you how to write your CV, how to write your motivation letter, how to structure your CV, and there are job fairs that you attend and you submit your CV, you'll be interviewed. People get jobs even before rounding up their program. So just to cut the long story short, you have opportunity to get a good life. You have opportunity to get a good job. You have opportunity to travel far and wide. You have opportunity to even send money back home while you are even a student. So, and I have this say, and that if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it. So don't look at the little cost. Okay, the information actually rules the world. So attending this webinar, to me, I believe you gain a lot, and the organizers are doing wonderful work, job that that we don't even have when we were looking for this scholarship here and there, and I think they have done very well. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any question, I'm here to answer it.
Thank you very much, Bashir, for such an informative presentation. As Bashir has said, guys, if you have any questions, he is here to answer. I too, because I am also a PhD scholar at the University of Galway on a fully funded scholarship. The both of us also work as international student ambassadors for the universities to show you that these universities are actively trying to recruit. You'll be surprised that currently there's over 50 international universities in South Africa. They're doing an expo, so they'll be in Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Durban. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at one of their events supporting my university as an international student ambassador. But anyway, the floor is yours. On TikTok, Bashir, I'm also live on TikTok, so if there's any questions, I'll take questions from there.
All right, I'm waiting.
Any questions, guys? You guys are so quiet.
I would like to ask a question.
Okay, Owolabi.
We're very grateful for the intercession from all our hosts, our guests. Regarding this traveling abroad, I hear that many people that travel abroad and they could not be able to ascertain or to achieve their dream. And I believe with this word of motivation and encourage us, my question goes this way. If someone, because I see on the platform, this platform is very good. If somebody want to go through this platform for traveling abroad, what is the process that the person will undergo so that he can be able to meet his dream? That's my question.
So,
Toby, yeah, I think you should answer that question.
okay, I'll answer that one. I'll take that one. So
Yeah.
what we do, as we've said, we've got a digital info session that you will go through. Now, in that info session, We show you step by step how to go about looking for these scholarships, right? But we want individuals to become very interactive in this process. We don't want it. Yes, we know there's opportunities where you can either engage with an agent or so forth. But I feel that in order for you to gain the maximum, as well as have the control over how it takes place, is for you to do it yourself. We have currently got about 6 to 8 individuals who are relocating this year, and they went through the whole application process by themselves, but with the support of the community in the WhatsApp groups, right? So that's what we do, and that's what we offer. We have, you're free to ask questions. We also have options of where we do one-on-one coaching. Whether it is in terms of writing your personal statement, in terms of, especially for PhD, you must remember the CVs are different. You've got your job CV, and then you've got an academic CV. So there's skills that we also would be engaging in. For people who are partaking in PhDs and masters, one thing I always encourage them is you need to start developing your research career while you're doing your masters. Publish your research work. Have a profile on ResearchGate. I've gotten my master's publications, I have been cited, which then elevates you when you are competing with people internationally for these posts, because the recruiters are looking for developing researchers, but you must also show in your initiative that I am capable of doing this. So there's a whole lot of coaching and mentorship that takes place. And the process is, there's not one set way, it's different. For example, I'm pretty sure Bashir's application process for his PhD differs from mine, the same way my housemate, hers differs. I went through shortlisting, where I had to write a proposal. I went through 2 rounds of interviews before I was told that I was successful. My housemate, who also came from Cape Town, who's doing her PhD also on a scholarship, she wrote to one supervisor in Trinity College, who then recommended her to a supervisor at the University of Galway. She proposed what she wanted to do her research on. They spoke for 10 minutes and she got the scholarship. So it depends also at which level you're trying to apply for. It's not necessarily the same. You may find for undergrad, it's not as vigorous as it is for masters, or how vigorous it is for PhD. As Bashir has highlighted, that for PhD in a lot of these European countries, it's actually considered as a job. That is why even when it comes to critical skills, we are able to bring our dependents with us, because it is classified as a critical skill.
I just want to ask a question. Are you guys, most of you guys, are you studying undergrad or masters? Like, what level are most of you studying?
On my side, I can say I'm an undergrad student. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
Okay, maybe Ntombi, you can go into explaining how it works abroad, because I mean, here in South Africa, we know you go from undergrad to honors to masters, but maybe just briefly explain that, the structure of how it works overseas.
So you find that abroad, they don't have a typical structure as we do, where you move from undergrad, honors, masters to PhD. In Ireland, I have seen where you can get a PhD enrollment with only having an honors qualification, but obviously it has to be a stellar honors qualification. Case in example, I did my undergrad, I did my BTech, I did my master's, I'm now doing my PhD. My colleague who's from Sri Lanka only has up until an honors in mechanical engineering, and we're both working on the same project. In some of the scholarships I have seen where they say, even if you just have a BSc, you can apply for a PhD. So abroad, they don't have that honors level that we usually look for. You find that in an institution, they'll say it's either a 4-year BSc, BEng, BA qualification, or it is a 5-year, including 1-year master's, right? Or you can move from your BSc straight to a master's qualification without requiring that honors qualification. But then again, keeping in mind that different scholarships have different requirements. There's one scholarship that we usually guide individuals through, which is the Kada Asmal Scholarship. because we've got an alumni who is in-house, and he usually has like one-on-one coaching in terms of the different stages for preparation of the scholarship or whatever they'll be going through. So what they would do is they would say they are requiring you to have an honors qualification or a postgraduate diploma in order to qualify. But then that is the requirement for that specific scholarship. It's not the same throughout the rest of the institutions. So it will require you to do a lot of this research. The other thing that is very interesting is that abroad they have interdisciplinary disciplines, whereby I am a chemical engineer, but my PhD is in civil engineering, especially when they're looking in terms of master's and PhD projects, because they're trying to get people from different backgrounds to come and resolve or give solutions to these sustainable development goals. And you'll even find, for example, someone who's doing a PhD in fashion, they may ask you that your research project looks at the sustainability of the materials that you're using to produce your garments. And you find that you can come from a different discipline as well. Someone who's got a BSc in chemistry. There are people who are doing their PhDs in civil engineering in my university. So those are the differences and the broadness and the opportunities and advantages that studying abroad affords one.
You know, and Toby, just to add to what you just said, that's very correct. In fact, I have colleagues currently that we are doing same PhD together, and I have somebody who has BSc and Masters in Agriculture and is doing PhD in Human Resources.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are looking for, you know, the SDG goal actually, you know, they are looking for interdisciplinary studies, people who can come from different disciplines and contribute, you know, into the Millennium Development Goals agenda, you know. So you don't have to worry much about that. What you just need to do as a prospective student is to look at for what is the research. How can you align your background or your experience to this? Are they relevant? So all what they want is just a little for you to convince them that you can do it. So I currently have somebody who is doing who did sociology in his first degree, only first degree from university in Australia, and is currently doing PhD, no masters. So, but I think she has an honor, it's first class, you know. So they are not so much like my PhD supervisor. She had a bachelor of engineering in civil engineering, and today she's a professor of business and society. So they are looking for interdisciplinary people who have interdisciplinary skill, who can bring science knowledge to management, who can bring management knowledge into science, who can bring sociology into management or into industry. So it's really flexible, and they are not strict like the way we are in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, that is so true. Any more questions?
Even comments, guys. Questions, comments, thoughts.
Okay.
One thing I want to say to Oshikoyane, I think if you will listen to people saying that about moving abroad, you will never go. Just go yourself, try to apply and get the opportunity and go. Maybe on your side, things will be better, or you will win the situation. You are not going to have negativities. One thing I've noticed, our people, they will always tell you, no, those people, they don't love you. It's like we only have a negativity issue when it comes to moving abroad. Even to moving to our own African countries, they will just have a lot of negativities and end up losing opportunity. So let's start with our attitude to say, let's have a positive attitude. And whenever you're doing something or it's your application, believe in yourself. Tell yourself that I can do this. So I think on that, once you try to have at least positive things about moving abroad, you'll start to see a world in a different place. You know, the course that I'm doing, this project that I'm doing with the Geneva, it's NGO, United People Global. You know, to meet with other people, let's say They will put us in a group of 5 people. And all 5 people, they are from different countries with different backgrounds. So it takes someone to say, I'm able to network with someone else and to understand someone in a different perspective. Thank you.
And I'd also like to add to that. I don't know if Bashir has the same experience, but one thing I've realized, supervision, like I said, I've worked in higher education for more than 11 years. I've dealt with researchers, with supervisors, and so forth. But the way supervision is approached abroad is totally different. You feel like you are truly being supported. Your supervisors are invested because their names are actually linked to your research project. So if it fails, it means that they have failed. And if you do not succeed, it means that you bring down their success rate. So their ranking drops as an individual. So they're very invested. I mean, from a small thing as me writing an abstract for a conference, I would submit the first draft. I have 4 supervisors, 1 from my university, 1 from industry, and 2 from the University of New South Wales, which is another lovely thing, is that you've got these people coming from different fields, and they would all write a sentence, put this, change here, like they are hands on it, to a point where sometimes when I'm finished, I'm like, okay, am I sure I'm the one who wrote this, because it has really changed? But that's how invested they are. And I mean, we've got a graduate research committee that is there to support us in terms of how we relate with our main supervisors. So our graduate research committee are external supervisors that are appointed, who monitor your progress, who you can also complain to should you have any difficulties with your supervisor. So a lot of thought and effort is put into all of this. The other thing is the fact that because we have these funding, I mean, for me, for my research project, I've got a budget of 65,000 euros, which is just for experimental equipment. Where if you think of people who are doing their postgraduate studies within South Africa, I have seen students stay longer in the programs because they do not have the funds to buy the experimental equipment. A lot of our postgraduate research is not being published because supervisors do not have the funds to pay the fees for publishing in high impact factor journals. So now what does that do? It stifles your research development.
I just want to ask another question, if I'm permitted.
Yes,
you are permitted.
In terms of what Milolo said, Paulina said that we must just remove the mindset of our thinking. I think is a good thing. Now, how can we assess this platform so that we can be able to get acquainted into this process of Uplifted Abroad, so that we can start seeing a better opportunity for ourselves? And yeah.
As you can see, we've got the QR code here, which takes you to where the digital info session is, telling you what it is. You are able to enroll. There is one free video where it's like an introduction just to whet your appetite. So feel free to access it through the QR code, or in the chat, I put in the link, which is https://www.upliftedabroad.co.za/info. And you're also welcome to follow us on our social platforms. That's where we do a lot of engaging as well, mostly on TikTok. We've started a series where we're trying to give guidance to high school learners in terms of career paths that are not usually spoken about. We started it off last week. So every 2 weeks, we're going to have a session where we will invite speakers who come from different walks of industries to come and talk about their careers and how they went about getting to where they are. We've got people like epidemiologist. I never know how to say it. How do you say it, Ayanda?
Epidemiologist.
epidemiologist, where a friend of mine, she deals with pandemics. She was working in the forefront with the UN in terms of COVID. So we're trying to, make careers also fashionable. Let's not only think of engineer, lawyer, doctor. Let's think outside the box. So we'll be posting all those videos on our YouTube channel. So we're trying to be as more outreaching as we can to try and raise awareness.
So I also wanted to say that, Ntombi, just to reiterate that if you join our community via that QR code or that link, it does come at a small fee of 200 Rand or €12.50. But then you get access to the digital info session as well as the WhatsApp group, where we will continue to engage.
Okay, so can I just ask, in terms of the WhatsApp group, just for clarity, do you guys send, like, if I believe Prof mentioned that there is a lot of unlimited sponsorships that are happening and we are not aware of. So in the group, do you guys share those sponsorship opportunities? And if maybe you guys are attending seminars or webinars where those varsities will be the site, are we in attending those and all that?
So yes, the answer is yes and no. So yes, in the fact that, yes, when we encounter scholarships, we do share them. And when we hear about webinars, we do share that information. But the point of the whole exercise is also for you to take initiative of your journey. So if you go through the info session, it will tell you step by step how to go about finding a scholarship. Because at the end of the day, there's so many scholarships out there, but at the end of the day, you, Peace, would have to find a scholarship that is suitable for you and suitable for your needs as well. You understand? So it is a grueling process. It is a search. It's not something where you're gonna just click one day, find a scholarship, you're done. It's a continuous process of trying to look for a scholarship that's gonna fit your needs exactly. So being in that WhatsApp group affords you that opportunity to be part of a community of people who are also actively engaging in that. Yes, we do share scholarships from time to time, but you're gonna have to take up ownership of your journey so that you can find the right scholarship for you. Also, as you're going through it, there are opportunities for you to ask questions within the group or engage in us on the process in terms of, let's say, for example, a lot of them, they require advice on personal statement. We share tips on the personal statement. You have to take up ownership of the journey to write your personal statement. If you need further help or personal one-on-one assistance, we do provide coaching, but that also comes at a fee. You understand? So I think the point of the matter is when you're looking for a scholarship, it's almost like it's a full-time job to find the scholarship that is suitable for you. It's not just about sitting back and waiting for people to share all the links with you. You're gonna have to take the journey seriously as well.
Okay, Ayanda, just to add to buttress what you just said, when I took the initiative to start applying for scholarship, sometimes I think I started in 2018, and I have an Excel sheet where I keep tab of all the scholarship that I've been applying to, or and I discover I've applied up to 43 or 48. So
Exactly.
and I do not have this kind of platform. I was just doing this thing blindly, myself. So what this kind of platform does is that, for instance, if this kind of platform, I know on the WhatsApp group, they will drop the update when the Irish government is publishing their scholarship, when the Swedish government is doing, when the, all these things. So it gives you an ample opportunity ahead of other people that are doing the search on their own. So you are You have the opportunity to get this information timely, and you also have opportunity for your personal SOP to be reviewed, because you currently now have tips on how to package your SOP, and SOPs are also different from different scholarships. So it is not just one SOP that you throw into 20 scholarships that you are applying to. And one of the things I will also advise is that don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. A lot of us have this thing. We say, no, I can't go to this country. Oh, it is this country that I want. No, particularly once it is the global north, it is a gateway for you. So just keep on applying. Just keep on applying. Like I have in 2021, I have like 3 scholarships. I just have to make decisions on which one is best for me. So I think that's what Ayanda is trying to push across, and just to back it up with my experience. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I think it's definitely something that you have to be diligent about the search, and so that you are sitting with options at the end of the day. I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. Yeah. Any more questions, guys?
I just wanted to add to that. Funny thing is, when you broaden your horizon, right? For example, when I was applying, I wanted to go to the UK. But for some reason, I knew when I submitted my island scholarship that that's where I was going to go. Even one of our candidates who will be moving to Australia this month, she wanted to go to the UK, but she got a fully funded opportunity in Australia. So that's why we say do not limit yourselves to a specific country.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else, guys?
I just want to ask something, and Sister Tombi have already said something regarding that we should not see as if maybe if we are trying to put maybe for island, we can also try the other side of other places as well. So I would just want to ask, before she mentioned that if you are not intent of going to Ireland, is there any opportunity of fully funding of any university in any other European country that we can get assistance if we are interested in doing so? Thank you.
Yeah. I think I'm going to answer you. Like what I said during my presentation, I said that the scholarship world is like somebody swimming in an ocean. The more you delve into it, the more you see various opportunities, and I have friends, I have classmates, I have course-mates, that have gone to different universities all over the world. I've met people in conferences, and when they tell you the stories of their journey, you'll be amazed that, oh, this kind of opportunity exists. So, so you don't need to limit yourself to, no, I have to go to Ireland, I have to go to UK. No, what you should have in mind is that the global north. So,
the nice thing is that with the links that we offer you, we've got links that will say, fine, you're looking for only Europe. Then there's one that looks at the whole world, where you got your Saudi Arabia, your Japan, your Turkey, your Belgium, your Luxembourg, countries that we've never heard of. So it is a global platform.
No, Toby, let me even tell you. Let me share a story. I have a friend who we finished together. He read industrial chemistry, and it was he started his journey in South Korea because he had a full funding for his master's in South Korea. Yeah, so he went to South Korea for 2 years. Government of South Korea fully funded. So after his master's in South Korea, he got a full funded PhD in Germany. So he finished his full funded PhD in Germany. He got his postdoctoral scholarship to Canada. So today he's a Canadian citizen. So you can see his journey from South Korea to Germany to Canada. And all these are fully funded. So you don't need to limit yourself. You cannot say, you are the one that is looking for things. You are the one that is looking for a way to better your life. So you don't have to, in my language, you say, in most cases, beggars do not have choice. So, but you can also create choices for yourself, but there are routes. My route might be different. You can see somebody who will get straight scholarship to Canada. You can see somebody that got straight to the United States of America. Yours may be, you have to go to South Korea, to Germany, to Canada. But at the end of the day, you are going to enjoy your life. And it's a different experience. That is the most important thing, because it's the result that is the most important. So we don't have to limit ourselves. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Emmanuel, the one who is doing, well, he was doing his postdoc with us. He's actually completed. He did his master's in China. He did his PhD in China. He did his first postdoc in China. He did a second postdoc in Ireland, and he's now working for a tertiary institution in Ireland. So you have to be, and he did all of this, like you said, on fully funded opportunities. And as you said yesterday when we were discussing that, actually the easiest way to relocate to another country, guys, is through education. Because education itself also opens you up to the opportunity of working. So you can work and study at the same time.
I just want to ask one more question. If like now, because you say something that there's some opportunity that it talks about age-wise, and some does not talk about age-wise. And my question goes this way: if we get the opportunity, are we legible to even give that opportunity to our children as well?
Sorry, I don't understand the question. Can you rephrase that?
I'm saying, when we have that one, I'm saying that some opportunity may be disadvantaged because of age-wise.
Yeah.
Why some opportunity is not discouraged by age-wise.
Yes.
So now I'm asking that if we have either of the opportunity, are we also have the privilege to also accompanied by our family, like children, like wife, to be together with us?
Okay, so that will depend on the immigration laws of that specific country. For example, in Ireland, it is only when you're coming to study your PhD can you come with dependents. If you're doing your master's or undergrad, you cannot come with the dependents. And that is not determined by the scholarship, it's determined by immigration of that country.
Okay.
Yeah. So you remember there was a time where in the UK for your masters, if you're going to do your masters, you could bring your dependents. I don't know how far it is now ever since our fellow friend.
I think they have stopped. I think they have stopped it.
Yeah. So you see, it is the country that will determine whether that is possible. You do get some scholarships which will say if you've got a dependent, we'll be able to pay you not only a monthly stipend for yourself, but a monthly stipend for your dependent. But then again, depending on the immigration laws.
It's noted.
Yeah. For example, I have actually brought my daughter to Ireland. She is studying in Ireland. She's doing her high school in Ireland with me because I'm doing my PhD. So I was able to do that, no hassle.
Yeah, it's noted.
Okay, so if no one else has a question or a comment on the floor, I think it's safe to say we can close. But again, if you'd like to join our community in Domfuti, just go back to that slide. You're welcome to join our community. As we've mentioned, that you can get access to the digital info session as well as our WhatsApp group where we can engage further. You can scan the QR code. If not, please just check the link on the chat. Polly?
I'm sorted on my side. Thank you, Ndombi and Aya.
Thank you so much, Polly, for creating this platform with the with your fellow law students. We're hoping to meet you guys on the other side in the WhatsApp group, or once you've joined.
Bashir, thank you very much for taking time out from your weekend, spending time with your family to come and share and engage with the individuals who have participated, to try and motivate them to think outside the box and see studying abroad as an opportunity for themselves.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.